Hi, my name is Dr.
Gaukhar Baidildinova.
This video is a part of my lectures on evidence-based medicine and epidemiology. Let's talk about one of the most important topics in our lives in general and in the academic scientific environment in particular, plagiarism and citation. Why is plagiarism bad? Because it is theft, but theft of ideas and thoughts. In Kazakhstan, this is a huge problem. For a long time, and often even today, not only students but also adults consider it normal to copy others' texts without providing any references. We frequently copy each other's homework and even rewrite essays. I've had cases where people simply copied large chunks of my motivation or recommendation letters. Anyone who has experienced this knows how, to put it mildly, unpleasant it is. When you spend hours thinking, researching, struggling, and then someone else just comes along, copies everything, and doesn't even see a problem with it. But in foreign universities, students can be expelled for it. No matter which university you apply to, it will always have a separate page on its website dedicated to plagiarism and how to avoid it. What are the most common types of plagiarism? Complete plagiarism. Submit another author's work in your name. Source-based plagiarism. Reference an incorrect or non-existent source. Direct plagiarism. Copy text from another document word to word self, or auto-plagiarism. Reuse a major part of your own work without attribution. Paraphrasing plagiarism. Make minor changes and use others' writing. Mosaic plagiarism. Interlay someone else's phrases or text within your work. Accidental plagiarism. Unintentional paraphrasing or copying due to neglect. Inaccurate authorship. Authorship instead of acknowledgement to contributors and vice versa. Now, let's move on to the practical aspects. How can we avoid plagiarism? First, you must cite any idea that is not common knowledge. You must always provide a reference to the original source. However, even if you include a reference, you are not allowed to simply press Ctrl-C, Ctrl-V, copy a sentence from someone else's work without modification. You must paraphrase it. I know how painfully difficult it is when you see something written so well and smoothly in someone else's paper, in perfect English, and now you have to rewrite it. You might wonder, why? But unfortunately, that's just how it is. Personally, I find paraphrasing excessive. It takes an eternity without any real additional value. I wouldn't mind if my text would be cited word for word with a reference to my work and probably abbreviation WW to say the wording has not been changed. Instead of pushing science further to benefit humanity, scientists waste their time on unnecessary literature exercises. But I'd like to emphasize that I refer to scientific texts where wording opportunities are limited, not to essays or motivation letters. Interestingly, even if you are citing yourself, you must still reference your previous work or article where you wrote about it. You should place the reference immediately after the sentence where you included someone else's idea. If you mention multiple sources in the same sentence, you must add citations after the specific words referring to them. For example, if you write that this type of research was conducted in Sweden, citation, in the USA, citation, and in Israel, citation, then you should provide separate references because these are obviously different studies. There is no need to cite the same article in each subsequent sentences if you discuss only this one. A common scenario is when you read Article A, where the authors cite another Article B. What do? Many people automatically cite Article B in their work, even though they never actually read it. This is wrong. You must download and read Article B yourself to verify its content. In my experience, authors of Article A sometimes misinterpret the meaning of Article B. If a fact is already widely known, you can reference a major review article that discusses it rather than searching for the original study. In the description of this video, I will include links to guides from UCL and Harvard University on plagiarism and citation. I highly recommend checking them out. You can also use citation guides from other universities. It's not a strict requirement to follow just these. Technical aspect. Here is my review article. As you can see, it follows the Vancouver citation style where each source is assigned a number, and at the end of the document, the full citation appears under that number. I used 214 sources, and this article was revised multiple times during the writing process. As a result, the numbering also changed repeatedly. How do you manage all of this? Some tools help with citations and references. commonly known as reference management software. On the slide, you can see a comparison table of available programs. I don't recognize half of them, but my main criterion is whether they are free. In this regard, Zotero and Mendeley are widely used. In my daily work, I use Mendeley and EndNote. Since Mendeley is free, my heart belongs to it. So why do I use EndNote, despite it being a paid software? Because most universities provide free access to it for students and staff. Additionally, at my workplace in Mainz, I can't even install Mendeley due to restrictions on software installations because of data privacy policies, which are especially strict in Germany. In the description of this video, I will include links to training videos on these two programs. I strongly recommend to start using them. It is not difficult to learn, but it will save you hours in the future. I also have 2 paid courses on Udemy. The Critical Assessment of Clinical Studies teaches how to read and critically evaluate clinical studies. It's a very great course. The same as my second course, Scientific Writing, where I tell all the nuances of how to write a scientific article or dissertation. Links are in the description box. Several websites are used for anti-plagiarism checks. One of the most famous is Turnitin. You can use it by yourself to check your essays. Artificial intellectual plagiarism. There are many sites now that determine whether the text is generated by artificial intelligence or not. You can see the names of the sites on the screen. And there is a paid service called undetectable.ai. There, first you can see whether anti-plagiarism sites detect your text as AI generated. Second, you can humanize your text. That is, try to bypass the anti-plagiarism sites. I tried it for writing parts of my dissertation, and I would say that it, like ChatGPT, is quite mediocre for real scientific texts because it simplifies the whole text and brings it down to the level of a school essay. Quillbot works much better for me. Currently, many researchers are so lame that they even did not bother to delete standard phrases from ChatGPT-generated text. What is more bothering is that reviewers also did not notice this. Don't be like them. Be a real researcher.